Hello, and welcome to 10 Minutes That Can Change Your Life. This program is brought to you each week by the Port Huron Church of Christ, located at 756 17th Street, right here in the city of Port Huron. Hey, if you've been following us for some time, we want you to know that we really appreciate your support, and we ask that if you have been enjoying this program, would you please share it with your friends on Facebook? We really would appreciate that. You know, if you recall from last week, we talked about loneliness. And at the end of that talk, I mentioned that next week I plan to share a remedy for those who are lonely. Actually, we have shared quite a few topics over the past few months that all share the same remedy as those who are lonely. So hold on, here we go. And by now you should be asking yourself, what is it that I could have up my sleeve that would be the answer for a troubled life, for a life that is not going well, for a life that feels unfulfilled, for a life that is in pain, for a life that feels like it's drowning, for a life with an uncertain future, for a life that feels more like a prison. On this broadcast, we have talked about anger, forgiveness, friendship, relationship, patience, fear, loneliness, and a host of other challenges many face in their lives. Imagine now if there was a pill you could take one time that had no side effects, that would make all of your issues that you struggle with go away. And what if that pill was very affordable? Would you be interested in taking a pill like that if it guaranteed that you would be better? You know, I believe that you would gladly take it, knowing that you are headed for a new life, a better life. Well, that is what I'm offering you today. Not a pill, actually something better. At first, the answer may seem too simple, but before you make that determination, consider that as of right now, things in your life are not going well for you. It was your unhappiness and the issues with your life that has brought you here. So, if you want things to be better, if you are tired of your life and the way things have been, then you need to hear what I have to say to you today. But before we go any further, let me ask you a few questions. Do you feel loved? Do you really feel loved? And by whom do you feel loved? Is that love conditional or is it unconditional? By that I mean, if the love is conditional, it means that they can stop loving you if there's something about you or is there something that you do that they either don't like, or they can just change your mind. Unconditional love means they will love you for whom you are, regardless of circumstances, because circumstances don't dictate how unconditional love operates. Let me ask you, in your life travels, you may have seen this somewhere. It says, God so loved the world that he sacrificed his only son, that whoever believes in him will not perish, but they will have everlasting life. Let's take a few minutes to look at that closely. God, who is God? God is the creator and sustainer of the universe. He is the one that made everything you see, the sun, the moon, the stars, the solar system, the trees, the flowers, the grass, everything. You get the points. He also made you, and he made me. He is the beginning of all things that exist. He's also the ruler of the world in which we live. He is the one who determines the beginning of our days when we are born and the end of our days when we die. So it's that God that so loved the world. It was a great love. He loves the world as no one else will or can. And he loves you unconditionally. He wants the best for you. He wants your life to be fulfilled. He wants to stop your pain. He wants your life to be full of joy. Now, how did he do that? Or what did he do as a result of that great love? It goes on to say that he sacrificed his one and only son. He allowed his son to die for all mankind. It was his plan. His son had to die so that you and I could be at peace with God. And we'll talk about that more in the coming weeks, so stay tuned. He died an ugly, brutal death. But it was the price that had to be paid for you and I. And he was the only one that could pay such a high price. What do you think? What great love. Who would do such a thing for you? No one but God. And it goes on to say, now, after he sacrificed his son, that whoever believes in him. See, you must believe that his son did this for us. You must believe that his son did this for you. Can you imagine someone doing something like that for you? And if they did, how would you react to that? Would you be grateful? Would you appreciate it? Would it be enough to get you to dedicate your life to a person like that? Well, watch what happens to those who believe this. It goes on to say that they will not perish. Your life will please God. He will guide your life. He will fix your life. And your life finally will be complete. It says, but they will have eternal, everlasting life. You will live in total harmony with God. You will live joyfully, and you will live forever with God. You know why? Because he will transfer your life from what it is now to what you know it could and should be. Everything that bothers you will end. Now, what if I told you that all of this is true, and the reason that I know it's true is because it's already been done? Now, what do you think? Impossible? No, not at all. In fact, this is what's really missing in your life, because we have a tendency to undervalue ourselves. We see all of our flaws and we know all of our shortcomings, so we have a tendency, as they say, to sell ourselves short. You know, some even come to the conclusion that they deserve the hardship in life they receive because of the choices that they make and the things that they've done. Our life, your life, is not dictated by how good or how bad we've been. If that were the case, there would be a lot of unhappy people walking around because they've done some pretty awful things. Life is life, as I have said many weeks ago, and what happens to us in our lives is all a part of living on the planet. How we respond to those things makes all the difference in the world. And also what makes a difference is who we have in our lives that we can rely on. Say, for advice. Do you have a good, solid resource from whom you seek advice when needed? Do you have someone in your life who serves as a guide to help you navigate your way through life? Do you have someone in your life that you can turn to and depend on in an emergency moment and know 100% that they have your back, regardless of circumstances? Do you have someone that you can talk to about anything that bothers you or whatever you can't handle in life? Do you have a person like that? You know, these people are very important in life because at some time or another, we all need someone to talk to for guidance, direction, or something. And I want you to understand by what I am offering to you today, how good your life will be, how much your life will change, how happy you will become, and the freedom it will bring from the thoughts, the circumstances, and situations that have locked you into this prison called your life. I want you to know that God loves you unconditionally. And there's nothing that you can do to make him love you more, and there's nothing that you can do to make him love you less. He loves you, and there's nothing you can do about it. And now that you know all of this, do you want to know more? What happens next is up to you. And if you really want to change your life for good, then all I ask is that you continue to meet me here every Friday for the next few weeks, and I will provide all of the details that you seek. Until then, this is Lamar Black, the minister of the Port Huron Church of Christ, where we love God, love people, with no limits, saying it's time for you to allow God to change your life. We'll see you here next week. And until then, we ask that you stay in and stay safe.